Okay, before we get started, I want to give you a brief history on this game, the controversy of it. The controversy surrounding the game stems primarily from the graphic manner in which players execute enemies. In 2007, former Rockstar employee Jeff Williams revealed that even the game's staff were somewhat uncomfortable about the game's about the level were comfortable about the level of violence. There was almost a mutiny at the company over that game, Williams explained. That the game just made us feel icky. It was all about violence and it was realistic. We all knew there was no way we could any way that explain away that game. There was no way to rationalize it. We were crossing a line. The violence in the game drew attention of U.S. Representative Joe Baca, who was a sponsor of a legislation to fine those who sell adult-themed games to players younger than 17. Baca said that Manhunt said said of Manhunt, "It tells kids how to kill someone. It uses vicious, sadistic, and cruel methods to kill." The media was also drawn to debate was drawn into debate. For example, the Global Mail wrote Manhunt is a venal disconnect from the genre. There's no challenge, just assembly line, ritualistic slaughter. It's less of a video game, more of a weapon of personal destruction. It this is about stacking bodies. Perhaps the scariest fact of all, Manhunt is so user friendly that any sharp 12-year-old could navigate through the entire game in one sitting. I highly doubt that. This game is pretty hard. Toronto Star writer Ben Rayner, however, praised the relevance of the game, defending its violence and graphic nature as a very much as a very much as very much a product of its time, and condemning calls to have it banned. He says, as entertainment and cultural artifact, Manhunt is totally disturbing, but so is the evening news. The "I'll eat anything for money" lunacy of Fear Factor, and the unfettering something gunplay of Bad Boys 2. So I will defend until my last breath Rockstar's rights to sell this stuff to me and anyone else who wants it. Do I think games such as these could have dire psychological consequences, particularly for young people? As always, I remain agnostic on the matter. Who knows, really? The debate will never be resolved. The American military obviously thinks there's something there. The troubling new TV ad campaigns for the U.S. Reserve luring potential young soldiers with tales of adventure accomplished by blatant video game styled animation, and curiously, no one has complained about or tried to ban SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs, in which stealth and killing figures even more heavily than in Manhunt. This game, the controversy surrounding Manhunt reached a peak in 2000, in July 28th, 2004, when the game was linked to a murder of 14-year-old Stefan Pecura by his 17-year-old friend Warren LeBlanc in Leicester, England. Sorry. Initial media reports claimed that police had found a copy of the game in LeBlanc's room, which police had seized as evidence, and Gisele Pecura, the victim's mother, stated, I think that I heard some of Warren's friends say that he was obsessed with the game. To quote from the website that promotes it, it calls it a psychological experience, not a game, and it encourages brutal killings. If he was obsessed by it, it could well be that the boundaries for him became quite hazy. Stefan's father, Patrick, added, "They were playing the game. They were playing a game called Manhunt. The way Warren committed the murder. This is how the game is set out, killing people using weapons like hammers and knives. There is some connection between the game and what he has done. Pretty much anyone can kill someone with whatever they can find." But I'm gonna get to my what I think about this. Patrick continued, "The object of Manhunt is not just to go out and kill people, it's a point scoring game where you increase your score depending on how violent the killing is. That explains why Stefan's murder was as horrific as it was. If these games influence kids to go out and kill, then we do not want them in the shops." A spokesman for the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, also known as ELSPA, responded to the accusations by stating, "We sympathize enormously with the family and the parents of Stefan Patrick Becerra. However, we reject any suggestions or associations between the tragic events and the sale of the video game Manhunt. The game in question is classified 18 by the British Board of Film Classifications, and therefore its copy should not be in possession of a minor. Simply being in someone's possession does not and should not lead to the conclusion that a game is responsible for these tragic events." Um, I'll leave a link to the wiki. Okay. In New Zealand, the game was banned on December 11, 2003, with possession deemed an offense. Bill Hastings, chief censor, stated that it's a game where the only thing you do is kill everybody you see. You have to at least acquiesce in these murders and possibly tolerate or even more towards enjoying them, in which the injurious which is injurious to the public good. The game was similarly refused classification in Australia in September 2004 by the Classification Review Board, despite having already been on sale for almost a year at the time, with the classification of MA 15 plus, restricted to ages 15 and over. In Canada, following a meeting in Toronto on December 22nd, 2003, between Hastings and officials from Ontario Ministry of Consumers and Business Service, Manhunt became the first video game in Ontario to be classified as a film and was restricted to adults on February 3rd, 2004. Apart from Ontario, however, Manhunt had little or no classification problems elsewhere in North America. The British Columbian Film Classification Office renewed the game after the controversy in Ontario and deemed the mature rating by the ESRB to be appropriate. In Germany, the I can't read German, but it's the local court in Munich confiscated all versions of Manhunt in July 19th, 2004 for violation of I can't read German. violation of representation of violence. According to the court, the game portrays the killing of humans as fun. They also said it glorifies vigilantism, which they consider harmful. So there is a lot of history in this game. And when it comes to a game with controversy, of course I'm going to play it. So let's get started. Make sure that the box on the left is just visible. There we go. Should be with turn the lights off, close the drapers, lock the doors, and get ready to kill. Fetish, yeah.
It looks like this goes all the way to the top. I can't trust anyone, least of all the police, and time's running out. I've got to get the one piece of evidence that will expose Starkweather without a shadow of a doubt. Footage and testimony of a man who was executed by the state 5 hours ago.
James Earl Cash, found guilty and sentenced to death, has been on death row for the past 3 years and was executed last night.
These streets are being patrolled by gangs. They're scum, just like you. And they're here to hunt you down and cut you up. I'll try to direct you as best I can, but other than that, you're on your own. It's up to you. Okay, are you ready? Camera, action.
Use the keyboard control. Okay. Hold to run the sprint. You have a limited stamina as shown on the flashing yellow bar, so use it sparingly. Got it. You can review the director's objectives on the pause screen by pressing the pause button. So here we are. Manhunt. This is a stealth survival horror. The radar shows.
You don't think I got it anymore?
Shows the local hunters display whenever they are visible. Color indicates the hunter's awareness if it's aware. Okay. Sneak behind them and either press action or action 2 button. When you're ready to execute, the player's stance will change. The longer you hold down either action, the more vicious the execution. Alright.
Set that jump up to see if you had what it takes to be our leading man. A little audition, if you will.
I know these could be used for hiding. In the shadows over there, the hunters will not see you in the dark unless they are actively searching. Alright. Your status icon goes blue when you are safely hidden in the shadows. If you are seen entering the shadows, you won't be able to hide there. Alright. The icon will flash red if you are in any danger or have been spotted. Here comes a hunter. Wait until he is facing away from you, then attack.